Alright, what's good, HawkSquad? This is your man Torso back in Tube, and welcome back to another weekly dose of HawkBanger Reacts. So I hope y'all had a great weekend, great start to 2025. You know, it's pretty cool for me so far, you know. Of course, you know, I had a great time off college. Now I'm back yesterday, which is a bummer, but overall, they ain't gonna stop me doing HawkBanger Reacts every single week. So HawkSquad, I got a new week of HawkBanger Reacts. I actually got this short. I'm going to do 3 HawkBanger recaps this week, starting today. If I do it today, if I do it today, I'll do it tomorrow or Saturday. Hopefully I do it before next week. So HawkSquad, going back to HawkBanger Reacts. So the first HawkBanger recap we're going to check out is Casper's Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends recap. And this one's called How Michael Myers' Revenge Tour in Haddonfield Ended. So yeah, I've seen Halloween Kills and Ends. I wasn't a fan of both of them, really. To be honest, I was not a big fan of both of them. It just got the writing. It's just like, it's like they really just pulled that. They really just did that, really. But overall, yeah, I was not a big fan of both of them. But overall, I'm really excited to see Casper's recap. I always love recaps. Shout out to you, Casper, for keeping up great work with these recaps. So HawkSquad, for ado, we're going to check out Casper's Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends recap right here, right now. Let's check it out.
It's about damn time.
Hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it, get it, get it, get it, get it.
So we start back off with Lori bleeding out. Michael done left her with a Michael Strahan gap-sized knife wound in her stomach, meaning it's too large a wound to stop. And she's about a pint of blood away from moonwalking with MJ. And they look up and they hear fire trucks going towards her house, and she yells and pleads to them to do what Usher said and to let it burn. And it's safe to say they should have been listening, because as they are actively trying to stop the fire, one of the men walked off. So you know it's GG's for bro. He falls through the floor, giving him the D-Rose type knee, so now he can't roll over at all, and uses the device to alert his friends that he doesn't want to be surrounded by what Gucci third leg is on right now. Fire. And the vault that Lori keeps her guns at opens out of nowhere, and bro looking up shook, realizing it's the boogeyman. And this right here would have been my 13th reason why, thinking, hey, why don't I just go try out construction or something? And he tries yelling to his partners like, there's a man down here, but they on the other line like But anywho, Michael walks out and he tries to get up and he kicks bro in the chest, and he picks up bro's axe and starts caving his face in repeatedly. Out here giving him that handsome Squidward treatment. Nigga gonna come out the surgery room looking like Idris Elba. And as he's taking his last few breaths, Michael just starts looking at him. You couldn't even convince me bro was fresh off retirement. A drug test isn't good enough. Give this nigga some of that Bill Secret stuff. And his partner looks around, eventually falling a hole he fell into, and starts holding his hand out for him to pull him up. But Michael appears in front of him, grabbing his arm and squeezing that shit. Cause this is a business deal? Let me go. But he doesn't, pulling him into a place that the queen is all too familiar with. And the screams echo throughout the entire house. And a literal few moments later, he walks out the front door, and everybody around them is shook. Michael starts clutching his axe, ready to turn these boys into something unrecognizable by their wives. And he starts walking closer to them, and they all squaring up in the back. And this right here was one of the worst attempts I've ever seen at fighting back. And I watched that Bryce Hall and Austin McBroom fight. Bro right here decides to use water to stop Mike. Nigga, he isn't black. That was never going to work. And he just impales him right through the eye. And it's GG's for bro. There wasn't a single thought in that head. Now look, you don't have one. Mike blocks the axe, smacking bro in the face, and Mike turns around, cracking him in the head, and then impaling him in his face. These boys' wives gonna be at the morgue looking at them like,
who the fuck is that guy?
But Mike, still knowing there's free eats around, continues, grabbing the axe, using it to lift him up like a damn trophy, giving little bro the Simba treatment, and then he drops him and throws down his weapon. Who the hell done pissed Mike off? Got bro doing shit I ain't never seen before, doing these boys how the Powerpuff Girls be doing Mojo Jojo, breaking into prison just to give him an ass whooping. It's crazy. Peeping in the distance that somebody has assault, and he's like,
that's a great idea.
Grabbing assault, overpowering them, and then slicing them in half like a stick of butter. What the fuck? Before Michael, the population of Haddonfield had to be like 20,000. That shit is dwindling down by the second. Michael out here turning this bitch into Gotham. Meanwhile, Lori is at the hospital fighting for her life from her wound. The scariest thing about Michael is that he has no motive. Nigga out here just doing this shit for the love of the game. Which is why when we cut to this couple right here who who lives right across the street from Lori, which would have been enough for me to pack my bags and get the hell out of Haddonfield. And Okoye flies her drone at the wall and it falls down. And Gramps was feeding for his turn on the sticks, taking it from her and tell her he's about to show her black ass how it's done. But as soon as his hands even touch the controller, it gets thrown back into the living room. And now, like Rohan Murphy, it has one less leg. And they confused as to what the hell is going on right now. Gramps walks over to the bathroom, but Auntie in the back telling him he got this. This all you, big bro. Straight gassing him up while she in the back camping, sending that man straight to his death. Gramps walk over to the bathroom and he turns on a light and he breaks the glass and shuts the door, turning around telling his wife that it's a big brolic nigga in the bathroom. And I'm just wondering who gave bro the pass. Her? She not even valid for real. And he yells at her to call the police, but she's just standing there.
True.
A few moments later.
But it's too late, because as he's walking towards the door, Michael grabs him by the head, dribbling it against the wall repeatedly, over and over again, giving him a severe case of CTE. And she's just sitting in the back, watching her mans get his face caved in. Why does nobody in this franchise care about their husband? Mike grabs his head from the back, giving him that Meek Mill POV, and slams his neck on a shard of glass, and just snatches him. Senior citizen on senior citizen crime is crazy. Niggas be doing all of this over a friendly game of bingo. And she runs away to get the hell out of there. But y'all remember I said niggas have common sense in movies? Well, she is clearly not one of us. That she has the door unlocked, but she's looking eye to eye with Michael, crying. The fuck is we doing? Turn around and run. But instead of running away, she grabs a knife. You going head to head in a knife fight with Michael Myers? Oh yeah, she wants to die. So Mike is like, I bet, walking over casually to the counter and grabs a light fixture, begging him not to kill her. But she can still run away, breaking it on the counter and staring at her like, you really want to do this? Look man, a serial killer with a sense of humor is sick work. Fuck is you laughing after killing me for? Leave me alone. And this entire time she's just standing there doing nothing. And he just stabs her in the neck with it, twisted in there and staring into her soul. Nigga under the mask giggling and shit. I know my nigga Dr. Umar happy as hell right now. Bitch thought this was Demi Lovato's wildest dream. Michael rips it out her neck, got her doing ballerina twirls, and then she just drops. And surprisingly, her husband was still alive. And what bro does next is 10 times worse than a spectacle he put on for the two podcasters last video. Because he grabs him and makes her watch as he lifts him on top of the counter and uses all of their kitchen knives to stab him in the back repeatedly over and over and over again as she's just watching. And he's like, hey, this looks like my old knife, and then just leaves. What the fuck? I know first responders reporting on the scene be like,
out of pocket for that shit.
Bro, out of pocket.
Way out of pocket. What do you gain from that?
So after Michael just off these two, we cut to Meek Mill and Diddy, whose names are Big John and Lil John. I know Flight was sick to his stomach watching this movie, and they get a knock at the door, but it's just a little girl telling them they gave her sister a rusty razor blade from their candy. I remember when my mom used to dig through my bag too, making sure there wasn't no nigga with John Kramer type tendencies going through that hoe. And he walks over to the little girl, who as I'm looking more clearly at is looking more and more relatable to Zaya Wade by the second. And he tells his husband to call the police, but this nigga gonna go outside. Bro, does nobody in this franchise listen?
No,
bunch of Helen Kellers walking around, and as they're checking on her, the door closes, and they're all looking around like, what the fuck? But it was just a prank. Niggas did all of that to steal just a little bit more of candy. Rod Wave must have put them up to this, and they're like, oh, you think this is funny? Do you know who used to live in this house? Nigga, do you? Why in your right mind would you ever choose to live in Michael Myers' old house? This is like going to a KSI concert. They're just asking to die at this point. And he tells them about how the boogeyman is going to get them, and they dip the hell out. In the exact next scene, these little badass kids are swinging on a swing set, and Lindsay goes to talk to them to tell them to get the hell out of there. The streets is not safe. It's a nigga with R. Kelly type tendencies running around chasing after kids. But she's like, bro, we're good. We're just waiting on our friend. But they point to the man they said was creeping around, and it's Mike holding a bloody knife and Lil Bro's mask, and they're both soaked in blood. And they just standing there around realizing that, hey, ain't that Dennis mask? So she tells them to get the hell out of there. So they start running away. The other girl, not so much. And for reference, this entire movie was Michael finishing off his victims from the first movies. My son had to come out of retirement and show these boys how it's done. They was getting too much clout in Haddonfield, telling everybody how they survived the boogeyman, which is why Granny spots Michael in the rearview mirror and starts frantically panicking. But Mike, he was excited as hell. He finally gets to finish what he started 40 years ago, crawling onto top of the car, nigga out here reminiscing about old times, trolling. And she's pointing that bitch around, about to take the passenger's head off. Had these boys in the backseat ducking their tacos. So Michael slams the mask on the windshield and she shoots it. And now that's one bullet gone. And for reference, this is Lindsay, the same girl that Bob was saying that he was going to rip the clothes off in 78. To this day, I'm still that mad Mike killed him. And Lindsay puts a bunch of Steve Harvey's teeth in a bag and goes off to handle Mike. She's trying to fucking kill this man. You see how big those shits are? Meanwhile, in a car, Michael slaps his hand on the glass, but this ain't 1978 anymore. She got the blick, but clearly Deputy Hawkins was out here aim training with her because she misses and breaks the window and decides now to lock the door. What the fuck are you doing? I've seen some pretty dumb shit in my life. Rod Wave jumping off a building called.
Told y'all that writing this movie is so damn stupid. My God, it's so stupid.
Anybody underneath him, their 13th reason. Gal Gadot's acting, but this shit takes the cake because while she's actively pointing at the people in the car, telling them to move out the way, she shoots a window, hitting nothing. Third bullet gone. So Michael grabs her by the hair through the window and she starts dumping the club. And the other girl just leaves her husband in the car. And honestly, I understand why. She knew bro was about to be straight free east because as they're trying to get out the car, Michael drops down and bro is shook. And he's in the back screaming at her to shoot him. And she's like,
"This is for Dr. Loomis."
And the gun clicks. This is that PP shooter Katie got Vance had. This genius didn't realize that her gun holds 6 bullets. And Michael just looks at her like,
"Into the crowd, you gotta do it. You know you done fucked up, right?"
And he starts crawling into the car and hits her with a 4-piece over and over again. And bro in the back makes the only play he can, taking off his stethoscope and trying to strangle Michael with it, but that don't work because they done gave him another power. Done sprinkled some Crimson Chin DNA in him, and now he can't be stopped. Lifting his head up and looking at him like, "Are you serious right now, bro?" And decided to make him more and more relatable to Fetty Wap. One shot at him in the eye, killing him slowly and painfully. And see, this is why I've been saying Deputy Hawkins must have been given a town of Haddonfield that stormtrooper type aim training because Michael was just chilling in a car and the wife comes in shooting. Keep in mind she wasn't shooting at any point when her husband was getting clapped. The fuck was she around here doing? Playing at the park? She shoots at Michael going over 10 and she gets close to the car door and he just kicks that shit, making her snipe herself in the head. This is the same woman that took the gun from her husband because she knew he couldn't shoot. This is like Helen Keller asking Stevie Wonder for some elite direction. Niggas gonna end up back on the moon. And he gets out staring at her like, "This nigga trash." And Lizzie creeps up from behind, hitting him twice in the head with a bag of Yo got his forehead, so you know that shit's gotta hurt. Bro gonna wake up with a Tom and Jerry lump on his head. And he's finally like, "Let me stop trolling," and chokes her, throwing her up against the car and about to choke her lights out, but she goes for the mask. Like I said, anytime somebody grabs that bitch, my son be getting war type flashbacks. Self-conscious ass nigga, kill her. But he just tosses her away. 1978 Mike would not be playing those games. If she reached for his mask, he would have been like,
"If they try to take mine, they gonna die like that. And they gonna fall like, they gonna die just like that."
And while Michael is fixing his mask, she runs away and eventually she makes it away. Damn, that shit has a 1% win rate. Usually if Michael wants you dead, you probably in hell slapping hoes with Ike Turner. Keep in mind, these are the same people Tommy Doyle was gassing up. Sent these boys into a fight they could never win. Straight Avengers level threat. If I actually believed Tommy would survive the movie, I wouldn't even be mad at Mike. I'd spend the rest of my life haunting bro for putting me in this situation to begin with. So a few moments later, the rest of this fraudulent team that includes Allison, her boyfriend, Tommy, and Richie, who used to shove Tommy in lockers back in 78, not gonna lie, would have set his ass up to die. I ain't forget about what you did back then. As they pull up to the part where Lindsay and the other half of the group got sent to rest, along with Chance the Rapper's music career. And he says the car is covered in blood, but there are no bodies. Huh? We just watched these boys get the Tupac treatment in 4K until they walk around the park and see that Michael done put on a goddamn art show with these two back-to-back spinning on the merry-go-round. This is mad disrespectful. Niggas gonna be watching the kill cam like, he ain't even do nothing for real. And as the camera pans up, we see that Michael done hung the granny too. Man, her life was raps anyways. She was a couple deep breaths away from OJ walking up to her in hell and saying,
"Damn.
Easy, white child.
Oh, nah.
I wouldn't want you to man."
Meanwhile, we come back to the old Myers place and Diddy and Meek Mill from before get a knock on the door and he's thinking it's the kids from earlier telling them to cut that shit out until he gets a knock at the front door too. So they grab a club and go outside, but nobody's out there screaming out, "Do you know whose house this was?" Nigga, do you? They out here saying this shit like they not the ones in danger. Hey Batman, you know whose street you on, pussy? oh nah, I'm out of here. And
I'm vengeance. Oh, also, by the way, y'all recognize Batman Part 2 just got delayed to 2027. Damn, man. It's a bummer, but look, I gotta say, let Matt Reeves cook, right? Let him cook. I hope it's, really worth the while for that.
he asks his husband, like, did you happen to lock the back door? And he's like, let me check. And when he goes to the back, he sees the door open and a bloody handprint on the door. And that would have been enough for me to sell my house and move to fucking Antarctica. But they don't. They realize somebody's in the house, and Big John picks up this baby ass knife, and Little John picks up the big knife. Keep in mind the door is still open.
Right?
Niggas in horror movies be thinking running is shameful. Man, forget all that. Y'all better do Rohan Murphy's biggest dream. And they start hearing Michael's footsteps upstairs, and they are scared as hell. This must be how Floyd Mayweather be when he sees books. And Big John runs upstairs while Little John is down there checking all the closets. It's the big 2024, bro. Be who you are. So Big John goes into Judah's old room. Meanwhile, Little John downstairs getting scared of his own reflection. You could just tell bro is not about to put up a fight. Looking around that hole doing Rainbow Six Siege peaks, but ain't nobody in there. Don't he know Michael got like a 3-point KD in that room? But the numbers are about to go up because Michael pops out behind him, stabbing him in his armpit, and then turning him around and gouging his eyes out. And then he just throws him on the ground. And all I could think of is that this is well deserved. Y'all was out here flowing around that did you know whose house this was? Now look, y'all about to die. So his husband runs upstairs looking around and then eventually finds him laying on the ground stretched out in Judith's old room. And while he's hitting a Simba from Lion King, he looks up and sees Michael staring out the window, reminiscing about how he packed up his sister 60 years ago. He says Michael's name and he turns around, not even looking at bro. Gave him the meanest side eye. So Michael turns around, but they don't even show it. But it's safe to say James Charles is dead.
Yep.
So Tommy had dipped out earlier to go attack a nigga that wasn't even Michael, and eventually made him commit Hannah Baker acts by jumping off the top of a building. These smooth brain civilians was chasing a guy that was Kai Cenat's height, and Michael Myers is 6 foot. Town full of straight idiots. Floyd Mayweather must live here. And now the only people left to stop Michael is Allison, her boyfriend, and her boyfriend's dad. So his dad goes in first by himself. Keep in mind, bro is out here telling his son he will see him at the finish line. Straight up lied to little bro, because after taking a long ass time, Allison and her boyfriend hear a shot go off, and they instantly run inside, and they both strapped up to the T, ready to go in the house and average 5 butt slaps and 2 you did your best. Cause Cameron starts calling out for his dad, seeing a closet door that's already open and they ready to blitz him. He kicks it open and she shoots the first thing she sees, which is a damn pumpkin. These two are so scared they gave the ops their location, which is why after they took a few deep breaths, they hear Michael's footsteps upstairs and he turns on the music. Fuck, is this an art show? But little did I know when I was first watching this, it was. Because they walk upstairs into Judah's room and Mike done got these boys doing elite couple poses. And for some reason she goes over to check them like she knows them or something. Shorty, they moonwalking with MJ right now, worried about bro's father who clearly might be dead. And that's exactly what Cameron was thinking. Leaving the room and walking down the hallway, and look at this face. Bro is shook as hell, knowing he has to check on his dad. Shit like that makes me glad to not have one. Meanwhile in the other room, Allison is taking the knives out of these two. Fuck is we playing Operation? And we cut back to see bro is walking towards the closet, and when he gets there, blood is dripping from the ceiling, and he looks up and his dad is tucked up inside the attic. Man, what the fuck? He was in there for a good 10 seconds. How did Michael even have time to do all of this? The real definition of get shit done. And while he is freaking out over the loss of his pops, Mike is exactly where he thought he was, in the closet. And just like these two, he comes out and Mike is moving. This would have caused me cardiac arrest. Fuck is he so happy to kill me for? And he grabs his neck, pinning him against the wall, stabbing him in the stomach twice. But meanwhile in the other room, this bitch is in here trolling, turning off the music and taking a knife from Bo's body first. What is she on? No disregard for bro's life. She's still mad he was cheating on her earlier. But eventually she gets up and walks out with a shotgun, and Michael just slaps that shit away. So she pulls out the knife and stabs Michael in the stomach with it 3 times. The fuck is we doing? This is Michael Myers. Of course he eats those shit. He tells bro in the back, shut the fuck up, nigga, watch this goddamn combo. Grabbing her by the hair and looking at her deep in her eyes, but he's like, who are these niggas? Slamming her head on the railing and throwing her down a flight of stairs as she goes rolling down, eventually breaking her leg at the bottom. which means now he gotta fend for himself. I don't know, man. Trapped in an ISO with Michael is crazy. I'm offing myself right there. But he takes the knife out and reaches for the gun, and Mike's like, nah, stomping on his hand. Like, come on, them shits don't do no damage to you anyways. Give him his here nigga damn ass wing. But Mike picks him up and it looked like he's about to throw him downstairs. And her not trying to be crushed yells no. But Michael just throws him to the side of the stairs. And just as you think he's about to be done, he starts bashing his head into the staircase over and over again. About to have bro speaking at hieroglyphics by the end of the night. And to be speaking to his shorty like,
What is... I'm sorry.
Mike grabs him by the head again, lifting him up into the pillar, breaking his back, and then dropping him, and starts doing that over and over again. Like, damn. And as he's treating this nigga like Flyby treat his PS5 controller, she says this. And Mike just looking at her like, is she for real? As she's waiting for him to stop and to come down and face her. But he's like, nah. Grabbing him again, slamming his head down. And this is where he does the most diabolical shit I've ever seen in my life. Because he walks downstairs as she's readying his weapon and looks to the left, and she starts yelling for him to leave him alone. But Mike decides that he's gonna be alone forever, grabbing bro's head and twisting it like the top of a jar. I remember watching this movie with my homies and I was like, as he just continues walking down the stairs. Shit took mad long. Bro be walking like he don't got nowhere to be. She goes to stab him, but he just blocks it, squeezing her arm so hard she just drops to her knees. And he starts using her hand to drive the knife into her. And you telling me the same guy who came down off a one arm pull up cannot end this girl right now? This family's plot armor is crazy. And she starts telling him to do it. And I'm just sitting here confused. Bitch, you wanna die? Until the camera pans behind him and Karen stabs Michael in the back with a rake. Got my son glitching, eventually laying my son on the ground. And this gave me straight guy when he told Kasame not to move, because she peeps Michael's side at her and she just stomps on his face with her sneaks. But we all know those baby ass hits are not affecting Michael. Would have had a better chance at getting James Charles to be straight. So she decides to one up herself, taking off Michael's mask, revealing how chopped he is. And this got the daughter in disarray. And she starts waving the mask in front of Michael, telling him to come get it. And he's like, I bet. Eventually seeing his mask on the ground, but it's a trap. Got 40-year-old IG thought smiling and giggling, proud at this. And now the whole town is face to face with Mike. Even Sheriff Brackett, old ass, who's still on the force for some reason, is outside with them. Bro's daughter got choked out 40 years ago and he's still mad about it. Iron Man can relate. And as they surround him, they all out for blood. But Mike's like, oh, I not even worried about these boys. Putting on his battle damaged mask to cause these boys nothing but a painful death. But in all actuality, Michael starts getting cooked. The first person runs in, sneaking Mike in the back with a crowbar and hits him in the head with it. And now the entire town is getting their Mickey Mouse hits in. He's out here having fun, beating up a senior citizen. But we all know the big Mike, he's not gonna let this slide. Going for slashes to them, but they weaving them hoes. At this point, these boys out here moving like the 2017 Warriors, hitting Mike in the head. But quickly you can see this team was just thrown together. Why is the only guy out of a crowd of people walking up to Mike with a gun? Everybody in the Halloween franchise got straight brain damage.
Seriously,
bro hits Mike in the stomach and Tony the Tiger lifts up his other hand and breaks Michael 5 times, dropping him, but he's still trying to get up, bro. All I could think of if I was these people was, what the hell did Judith do to him? How did you turn this little nigga into an Avengers level threat? And they use Michael being on the ground to their advantage, beating him with literally anything they could find sitting outside their house, because for some reason this nigga has an iron. What are you gonna do? Make sure his blood soaked jumpsuit is crisp? Meanwhile, they're beating the shit out of Michael, giving him the most justified ass whooping of all time. The entire time Karen is in the back having deep sighs of relief. For her, this is personal. Michael done cooked her out of having a childhood. She didn't get to grow up watching Dan Schneider freak-offs on Nickelodeon, so now she's mad. Which is why after they get done beating the hell out of Mike until the point he can't even move, she walks over while he's down, and while he's reaching for his knife, she picks it up and she gives the Killmonger speech.
That challenge shit is over with.
I'm a king now.
Stabbing Michael in the back, killing him. And later on, Karen and her daughter are eventually reunited as the entire town starts celebrating the death of the Shape. But meanwhile, the entire time, Lori and the Stormtrooper are in the hospital talking about how Michael cannot be defeated. The more he kills, the more he becomes something unrecognizable. And I'm like, damn, Mikey like that? Ain't that nigga middle name Audrey? I said under my breath. And Brackett ups his pole on Mike, about to get justice for his daughter.
Never mind.
Never mind.
Bro has no more bullets, so Mike just stabs him in the throat. Him and Hella Killer finna be talking in hell like, And Michael slices bro's Achilles, grabs bro's arm, breaking it, got him screaming out nefariously. This is sick work, man. I would have been at home making popcorn or something. This is the worst place you can be right now. And Mike slices this random's neck and got Kool-Aid gushing out of it, and he's just standing around looking at them like,
and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Y'all trash.
And Michael finally gets his hands on Tommy, stabbing him in the stomach mid-swing and looking into his eyes like, yeah, you remember all that shit you was talking?
Right.
Die. Ripping out the knife, dropping him. But it isn't even over. Michael remember when Lil Bro snitched and interrupted his skills 40 years ago, picking up old Huckleberry and caving his face in with his own bat, killing him instantly.
You shouldn't have been talking shit.
And we cut to a literal few moments later after this, and we see Karen at the old Myers place staring out of Judah's window, finally basking in a feeling that Michael is finally dead.
Yeah, right.
No, because Michael pops out in the back, and all we can see is straight terror on her face as he's cutting her up type crazy. And she's trying to block them, but it's GG's because she just drops. And the only reason I can guess why he did this to her was because of this.
You wanna fucking kill someone? Take me! I'm an innocent woman, just like your sister was.
You shouldn't have been talking shit.
Now, originally I wasn't going to do ends because seeing Mike go done like that would have caused me to rip my posters off the walls. And this movie is buns. But clearly you guys wanted to end it and we locked in like these. So 4 years after the event occurs and my son Mike is washed, Jake Paul itching for the chance to challenge him to a boxing match right now. Mike is getting beat up by Alice's new boyfriend Corey to the point my boy gets his mask taken and he's going around cosplaying. But I'm not going to lie, he is on a tirade, killing everybody that messed with him previously in the cleanest way. Closest thing we got to Mike in this movie. Jason Tatum seen this and was like, that's a great idea. Let me cosplay too. But bro, it's just a glorified school shooter. This auraless fraud could never touch the big Mike because he creeps into her house ready to take her off the map and Lori kills herself, but it was just a fake out. He walks in and she was like, you really thought I was Hannah Baker? Shooting him twice, making him fall over the railing. But when she looks down and he takes off the mask, it's Corey. And she's just looking over the railing like, you're not him. And she walks downstairs and she's pressing Lil Bro, telling him to kill her, but he's like, nah. Here's Allison busted ass car pull up and he kills himself, giving Allison the idea that her grandmother killed him, and she just leaves. But as Lori is crying over the loss of her granddaughter, Michael grabs his mask and Corey is still alive. Bro done stole Mike's whole flow, word for word, nigga, bar for bar. But Mike decides
this nigga gonna die,
grabbing his head and breaking his neck. But Lori knows Mike is in the back, locking the back door, trapping herself in the house with him. And he goes to find Lori too, searching around looking for the free eats, but Lori's in a pantry camping, and the lift cord starts clacking against the wall and she grabs it, and Mike hears someone drug test this nigga. Having powers like this as a regular human should not be allowed. The microwave goes off and he turns, so Lori hits him with the door, blocks a knife and hits him in the head with a fire hose. And Mike's mother must have told him,
get clean off that damn tape. I'll whip your ass.
Because he grabs her, throwing her over the table and then pulling her hair, slamming her through the cabinet, and decides to do to her what somebody needs to do to KSI and stumping on her throat and crushing it. But we all know Mike drops -10 attributes when fighting Lori. It was never gonna last that long, bro. Kicking him in the leg and they get up, but he grabs her head, slamming it into the fridge and throws her into the table, and he starts to choke her out. Realizing she's been in this position before, she starts to lock in, trying to grab the knife, but Mike starts getting creative, showing these boys how truly maniacal he can be, using her hand to turn on the disposal and pushing her in there. But before he can turn her into Morgan Freeman, she headbutts him, and I know that shit hurt. Shit must have felt like he got hit with a bowling ball, because he grabs her and throws her cleanly across the table. Fuck did they do? Sprinkle some super soldier serum DNA in him? So Lori grabs a crochet hook and ducks behind the corner to sneak Michael, and when he walks up she tries to stab him, but he blocks it, grabs her arm, using it to stab the inside of her ear, clearly trying to give her that Helen Keller work, and she smartly goes for the mask. Michael, knowing how chopped he is, not trying to scare the hoes away, grabs the mask and puts it back on, allowing Lori to make a run for it, and she grabs the knife, stabbing him in the hand with it, sticking him into the table, and she decides this is the perfect time to end him, picking up a chair and slapping him over the head with it, got him spazzing out. But because Michael got that Wemby type arm, he reaches out, grabbing her, but she's like, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? And overpowers him. My son turned into a straight scrub around his family because she is literally pinning him on the table. Man, I remember I was in the theaters watching this like,
Go, Carson! Go, Jack! Yes! Carson, you got it! You got it! But,
dude, take a side already.
I can't. I love you both so much.
And she stabs Michael in the chest, ending the fight. But he just wakes up again. I'm crying. Why is he scaring this old lady like that? She's one good scare away from a full-on retirement. Michael tries reaching out, so she stabs his hand, pinning him back down to the table, and uses something Steph Curry is still hoping Ayesha Curry will never touch again, to hammer the knife into his hand. And now my son trapped. But Lori decides to take it a step further, grabbing the fridge and throwing it on top of him as he's frantically panning on top of the table. And she pulls out the big knife, waving that shit in front of him like, I know you want it, I know you do, and stabbing him in a rib cage as he just passes out. And she takes the mask off, and bro's already awake, so she starts giving her speech, eventually slitting his throat and killing him. But we all know Mike can't die, as he rips his hand out and starts strangling Lori to death. But the entire time she's chilling for some reason, telling him to do it. Is everybody in his family ready for the Pop Smoke concert? Telling a man who gets hornier with each kill to kill you is crazy. But as Black Widow is reaching out to her from help, Allison grabs him, breaking his arm in half. And she grabs Michael's wrist, making him bleed out on the table. And it's GG's for my son Mike. And later on, they get the entire town together to witness the death of Michael. Got everybody around looking cautious, making sure bro actually dead this time. And Lori throws Michael in a grinder, finishing him off once and for all. And even in the afterlife, showing these frauds.
And y'all saying my name, put some respect.
No, say no more. Oh boy. Oh man. That was actually overall funny, hilarious recap of Casper. Keep up a great work with this, man. Great work with this, man. Ooh-wee. But yeah, as much as I wasn't a huge fan of both Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends, yeah, overall I enjoyed this recap. I really enjoyed this recap. This was a great rundown on both of the Halloween reboot sequels. So overall, double recap, Casper. Love it. Keep up the great work, days, man. Shout out to you as always. So HawkSquad, that is my HawkBanger recap reaction to Casper's Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends recap. So you enjoyed this, please smash the like button, comment, share your thoughts. What is your favorite Halloween movie and what is your least favorite Halloween movie? And overall, do you think it's going to be another Halloween movie? I don't know why. I have a deep feeling inside they're going to make it a Halloween. I don't know why, but it's just like, you know how these filmmakers are. You know how they are. They're going to make a Halloween somehow, bring Michael Myers back to life, right. So HawkSquad, your man's Torso, signing out for today. Tomorrow is Friday, y'all. So I'm actually off for today because, I have one important stuff to do. So I was like, you know what? I'll put my leaving for today. Go ahead and just relax and chill for a day. So overall, HawkSquad, this is your man's Taurus Hawk. Sign out for today. I will see y'all tomorrow, Friday, and hopefully Saturday for more HawkBanger Reacts coming this week, as I promised. So safe out the sky. Peace out. Have a great day. HawkSquad forever.